Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this edition of Extra Time on Wednesday, June 10th. Joined by Frank Leboeuf, Craig Burley. I'm Sebastian Salazar. We have a boatload of your questions. I think something like 10 deep. The first one, who was the better player, Zidane or Maradona? Frank, you get the first shot.
Definitely go for Zidane, and I will explain why. It's not because he's French and we played together. It's just that I always thought that football was played with 11 players and not one player and the others. And Maradona was capable of doing crazy, fantastic things. I never accepted the hand of God. I think it's a big mistake from the referee, and Maradona should have apologized for that instead of bragging about it. And I think Zidane was a better passer. He was able to think about the others and not only about taking on players. It's why I think Zidane was more useful. Not maybe more entertaining than Maradona, but more useful for a teammate like me, more useful for a squad to win a game.
Craig, among the two of you, who's the bigger legend at Chelsea?
Well, Frank, because I think Frank would definitely be welcome back before me. For sure.
Where did Frank finish in the most hated list?
I did all we did all the hard work before Frank and all the boys came in and took the success. Chelsea was a changing club. Chelsea, we reached the FA Cup final in '94. That was the first time for a long, long time. Then we reached the semi-finals again and the final again. We started to become a club that was competing for some trophies. Then we signed better players like Frank and others, and the money became more available, and Chelsea improved. So I saw a period at Chelsea in the late 80s when they didn't have two pennies to rub together. But that's a completely different football club nowadays. But I would say Frank is certainly more welcome at Stamford Bridge than me.
Frank, how come you weren't on the list of hated Chelsea players like Craig? Are you jealous?
No, I'm not. Definitely not. No. I don't accept the challenge, I'm happy to be more than welcome at the bridge where I come sometimes. But I just want to come back to what Craig said before. It's true. And thanks to Ken Bates, who did everything for the club to come back to his prime, which was in the 70s, let's say, or before in the 50s, 55 when they won the championship, I think. But yes, it's true that beginning of the 90s, the club changed, and the money came at the same time. I came with Zola, Di Matteo, Vialli, almost a year after Gullit and Petrescu, Mark Hughes as well. So it dramatically changed. But I think we were also just at the beginning of the new era of Chelsea, and Chelsea came back to its best when they won the Premier League for another time in the years 2000 something.
2004, I believe.
2004. Thank you.
I think so.
Next question for both Frank and Craig. Have you guys ever been mistaken for somebody else when fans bump into you in the streets? I reckon Frank probably gets mistaken for Fabien Barthez a lot. Likewise, and we know this, Craig, you always get mistaken for George Clooney.
Well, I don't get mistaken for anybody, to be honest. But yeah, I the odd time somebody has mentioned Paul Merson to me, the former Arsenal, Middlesbrough, Portsmouth, England player. That there may be some similarities. Personally, I think it's more like George Clooney, but I would say that.
Yeah, it's true. You have a little bit of Paul Merson. That's fair to say. It's true that people they say sometimes Fabien Barthez, and I remember somebody calling me like that. Hey, Fabien! I never turned my head, and they insulted me, insulting Fabien Barthez, or I call Fabien. I say, Fabien, somebody down the street is insulting you right now. So I don't know what to do with it. But some people they confuse me with the actor of Lost. Sorry, I forgot his name. I think that guy is like 15 years older than me, but somehow they say I look like him.
Craig, Frank has mentioned. Oh no! Sorry, got ahead of myself. That's two down. Frank McManaman is where our next question comes from. What were the worst penalty misses throughout your career? Craig, you go first.
The worst?
The worst.
I don't really consider them. Well, I can tell you, I took some penalties the year that we won the title in Scotland, and that was the first title Celtic had won in 10 years. And there was an awful lot of pressure, so there was none missed that season. I did miss one at Derby when I took 3 in a Premier League game, but it wasn't a disastrous miss. The goal, I mean, it was my third penalty. I scored the first 2, and the goalkeeper just happened to save the third one. I haven't hit any like Gabriel Jesus did not too long ago. You know, where it's just horrible. I've not had too many really bad ones. I've had the odd one where the keeper's guessed the right way and they haven't gone in, but I haven't like hammered one like, 15 foot over the bar or 5 yards wide of the post. I haven't done that.
Frank, you got a worse penalty miss on your resume?
Yes, definitely. Well, it left me a bitter taste. In fact, it was in the Champions League against Feyenoord Rotterdam in the Champions League, and we were 0-0, and we had a penalty, and I don't remember what I did, but I remember that I missed it, and I remember that it was a crappy one. But I don't remember what I did. Fortunately, we won. I think we won 3-1, but I do remember that it was a bad shot, and that's the only one that I recall. I missed, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 maybe, with out of 50, 52, so it's not too bad.
Next question, gentlemen, a little bit complicated, so follow along as best you can. Now, you can only do one of these in your life and not the other. I'll start with Frank. You have the choice between only acting or only playing football. What are you taking?
Definitely only playing football. The uncertainty of the game, the fight that you have and that you can face, and the pressure that you have before game is never comparable to any other job, profession. It's crazy what we feel in sport. And some people, they ask me, yeah, you are in plays and you are in front of an audience, so what do you think, what you can compare? It's no comparison. We play in front of, I don't know, 10,000 until 100,000, and we feel the pressure like you cannot feel in another part of life. So I played for 17 years in football, and that was full of pressure, full of intensity. I never regret it, and if I could go back, I would go back.
Craig, your choice is golf or football, which I know for you doesn't really seem like a choice, does it?
Yeah, you're really asking me that? Oh.
Twitter wants to know.
Golf.
Really?
Golf. Golf. I love it.
If it wasn't golf, we know you do have some other hobbies like cooking. Craig, Frank has mentioned in the past he only eats food for fuel. Given that you are the self-named best cook on the FC crew alongside Shaka, what signature dish would you make Frank to change his mind on food?
What do you mean? He only eats his food for fuel? What do you mean, Frank?
Yes, he gets no joy from eating, apparently.
You don't like eating?
No, not necessarily. It's okay, but I feel it's something you have to do to fuel your body, and that's it.
You don't enjoy a Frenchman that doesn't enjoy the delicacies of the tastes of. What would I make?
Well, he hates carbs. We know that. He's an anti-carb, very much anti-bread.
Well, I would give him some carbs. I would give him a nice seafood mix, proper fresh seafood, squid, mussels, everything, and I'd make a nice sort of linguine. That's what I'd do. Gives you your carbs, get the goodness of the fish. It's fresh, little sauce in there. I could conjure that up.
I would agree.
Frank, would you ever eat a plate prepared by Craig?
Yes, the linguine alle vongole, as Italians say,
yes,
is absolutely fantastic. And why not? I will start to change my mind if it's prepared by Craig.
Stevie Nicol doesn't think so, because I ordered one night when we were out with the boys in a little bit of a group gathering, and I ordered a linguine sort of vongole, as you mentioned, and Stevie looked across the table at me and went, "Oh, that looks horrible," because it wasn't shepherd's pie, obviously.
Oh man,
that's horrible. Ugh.
All right. Next question. How will Craig and Frank fare replacing Jules on the Gab and Juls podcast? Just sitting there saying, yeah, while Gab does all the talking. Craig, you signing up for that job anytime soon?
No. Won't be happening. They'd have to drag me there. Wild horses would have to drag me there, kicking and screaming. So I've got no concerns there, because that will not be happening. Although Frank's been on.
Our final question from...
Yes, I've been there last week, and it was enjoyable, very nice, but I think they're very good at it, so we're gonna let them doing the thing they like.
All right, last question. Craig, would you rather do Extra Time from the parking lot at the golf course, or watch a 2-hour-long movie featuring Frank as the main character?
Well, I quite enjoyed the Extra Time from the car park. It was an emergency call that I took. Although they could have done it without me, I'm sure it wasn't a major drama. But I quite enjoyed it. I didn't mind. So that's a no-brainer. It's Extra Time, absolutely.
Yeah. So you don't want to watch me in a 2 hours movie with a lead character? What's wrong with you?
I had to watch and listen to you in the 90s every day. Every day. I heard you. I used to hear you coming to the training ground before I could see you. Right, here's Leboeuf coming. Here's Leboeuf, Bob. Here he comes, boys. Cover your ears. We've got 2 hours of this. 2 hours.
That's true. It's true, Sabi. I have to admit, I'm a talker. I'm a real talker, and I know the British
really
couldn't bear that in the morning. They couldn't bear that.
No, Wisey, Dennis Wise used to have some choice words and trying to tell Frank to stop talking, which are not repeatable on here.
No, of course not.
All right, we will leave it there for Extra Time. We will, of course, be back on tomorrow's show. Dan Thomas is back in the host chair as La Liga returns. Don't miss it.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.